Hey guys, and welcome to Roof for Profits. We are doing another template that is going to help you in your calculations for all of your costing and spending. This sheet is our labor burden cost, something that we quite often forget about when we're deciding how much to pay somebody. We forget that in order to actually employ somebody, it costs us money outside of their hourly wage. And the money that it costs us are going to come from taxes and insurance. Those are two of the big labor burdens that we forget to include when we're actually negotiating a contract with an employee and how much we're going to pay them. So first, let's start as we usually do, going up to the file. You always want to make a copy once you've opened your link. And I'm going to change the name of this one to 2024 because we're going to talk about how much it's going to cost us in 2024 in taxes and insurance. So hit make a copy, and then you'll get your fresh copy with the new label here. Remember, always make that copy. And I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger so we can see here. So as usual, only change things that are in green. Some of my sheets, I let you know that you can change some of the other numbers around, but in this case, at the moment, you really only want to change what's in green unless the FICA and other federal unemployment tax percentages change, excuse me. So we're going to start with our employee hourly wage. I have it in 25 here, but let's say that it costs us, we're paying $20 an hour for Jimbo, okay? On top of that $20 an hour, we have to add how much we're going to be paying to the government and to insurance. So first, we're going to start with Social Security, Medicare. It is currently 7.65%, so that does not change. It is fixed. Our federal unemployment tax is 6%. That's what it is this year. Now, state tax is going to be different for every state. I do not know all 50 states' tax, so that is something you'll actually have to Google. You can just Google it. What is my state unemployment tax for 2024? And that, again, is going to change for each of you. In this case, I've put 3%, but know that it can range anywhere between 0.65% and 6.8%, depending on the state. So it's just kind of a side note there. So we're going to change this for today and say that it's 4%. And our general liability insurance, you're going to find these numbers on your declarations page. I cannot tell you what these numbers are. It is directly off of your declarations. And it's going to be under, I'm going to highlight this, your rate per 1,000. And that's found on your policy. Again, it's right here, your rate per 1,000. I will even highlight that for you. Rate per 1,000. In this case, we're going to say that our general liability rate per 1,000 is, let's say, $5. And our workers' comp, which is much more, as always, it's a rate per 100. Let's say that it is $14 per 100. So every time I've plugged in a number to these green boxes, a new number pops up right here, okay? So, and if I change the hourly, you can watch our FICA change the hourly to 25, FICA is going to change. So we're going to go back to $20 per hour here. So what we now know is that our total cost to employ Jimbo is $26.43. Now, he does not see that on his check. He sees $20 per hour on his check. However, we're paying the additional $6.43 to employ him. That comes out to a 32.15% labor burden. That is how much it costs us every single time we pay an employee to actually have them as an employee. Keeping this here, I do want to slide down to this example right here. Just know that no matter what, when you change, as long as you don't change these percentages, when you change your hourly wage, this percentage of labor burden will not change until you change your insurance and or tax. So in this case, let's change this insurance to $10. Now you can see that your labor burden changes. So if you have had a poor history in insurance, this is going to be a much higher rate for you. So let's say that your general liability has gone up to $12 this year and your workers' comp has gone up to $25 this year. Your labor burden is now 42.85% versus up here 32.15%. Where do these numbers actually come in play and why are they important? Really quick, I'm going to jump over. If you do not have this sheet yet, message us and see how you can get the sheet. This is our gross profits sheet with our estimates versus actuals. So if you have a job and you want to cost out exactly how much it's going to cost you, that you'll get an estimate on this sheet and it'll give you a cost between one number and another number. And it includes your labor and your materials, others, permits, tools, all of those things. So this is where the labor burden comes into play here. If you look right here, we've got Jim, Tony, and Sal working their hours. That's really high there. Let's say that Jim worked 15 hours and he makes 25. Okay, right here you see the labor burden change as we change how much he gets paid. But also what we're doing is I have up here the labor burden 58%. Go back to our labor burden page. Now that we actually know how much it costs to employ Jimbo, we have our labor burden of 32.15%. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put in 33%. And now you can see that this labor burden has changed so he doesn't cost us as much, right? Go back to that example of the high labor burden right here, 42.85%. I'm going to put in, watch these numbers in burden. I'm going to put in 43% and that burden jumps up quite a bit and it shows us exactly how much it's going to cost us on this job. And so that's where these numbers come into play. So if we're at, let's go back to this 32%, this job is going to cost us approximately $5,800 to $6,900. But if our labor burden is high at the 42%, that's going to change us to 58 and 7. So anyway, that is how we calculate our labor burden. And if you need to know more, as always, please give us a shout and we are happy to help. Thanks so much.